The Shine on CX Show with Claire Boscq, illuminating the path to exceptional customer service.
Welcome to the Shine on CX Show, and today my guest is you've become a very good friend of mine. We have followed each other for quite a few years now. Simon Nash is in the room, and my guest today. Hello, welcome, Simon.
It's very good to be here, and we're not only friends, but in the business I started, you were my second supplier. And the first was the JFSC, which is the registration fee, and then I rushed along to one of your workshops on communication and brand, and so you're the first item in my purchase ledger.
And I think at the time we were talking about a bit of bringing some of the feng shui things, a bit of that feng shui energy into businesses, and I think your very first logo actually was inspired by one of that conversation, wasn't it, when you started your business?
Yeah, it's a spiral, and it's an open spiral, and I've been meditating on that as an image of the open spiral, the spiral that goes forever inwards and forever outwards, but that has no opening. That's been something that's been with me for decades, but your workshop helped me to own it and to bring it into the workplace.
And so you are a people person, really. You've been working with people for a very long time.
Well, I guess everybody is, but for me, the task of finding the human and the humanity in work, in leadership, in human resources has been a real touch point all the way through my career.
And I think you've had, I think when we met, you were still in that corporate environment, and you just had a bit of a momentum in your life which actually triggered something, and you thought, maybe I need to do something a bit different.
Yeah, I've been on the verge of setting up business since the mid-1990s, but each time there was a corporate opportunity in my career that seemed attractive or challenging at the time. So I went through several decades of a corporate HR career. It took me around the world. I won lots of prizes and awards and had some really good experiences, and all of that then got blended in to producing something original as my offering to the world.
In Jersey, there was a couple of weeks ago, we had a TEDx St. Helier, which was very, very powerful. And you did your first TEDx talk at, that event.
Yeah, so I first heard TEDx talks, as most people did, in the early 2000s. And the moment I heard my first talk, I thought, I want to do one of those. So I'm surprised it took me 20 years to go from being a keen fan to being on the TEDx stage. But once I did, it was like a homecoming. I really enjoyed the experience of preparing, of crafting the talk, and of sharing it with the audience, and really looking forward to sharing it with the world when it goes online.
Yeah, having a message. And your message was very special, because for me, it's all about how do we bring more care into what you do? And your talk was titled, What If Love Was the Missing Ingredient at Work? Yeah,
that was the subtitle that the organisers put to it. The title I came to was Work is Love Made Visible. And that is a quote from a Lebanese poet from 1923, just over 100 years ago, a guy called Khalil Gibran. I came across that quote when I was preparing a talk similar to TED for Disrupt on kindness. And the idea of work is love made visible, it was in line with what I was thinking about kindness, but I think, and I believe over the last few years, it's taken that a stage further. It's gone beyond merely acts of kindness to seeing the whole of our work as an expression of our deepest human capacity, which I believe is to love.
Absolutely loved it. I mean, that quote really resonated.
Yeah.
I'd made quite a few notes, but that one was in big, bold letters. Do you think we're missing that nowadays in our environment, in our corporate, in our organisations?
Yeah, we have driven out the experience of love from our practice of work, which is a bizarre thing for humans to do. Humans are loving creatures. We've from our earliest evolution, we've been social animals that have had familial bonding. We've loved since before we've even had language, before we've had cities, before we had structures. So it seems really strange that the way we've now structured our modern economy and the way we've structured modern workplace tries to drive out what is our deepest way of being human. And it drives it out of our interactions with our colleagues, it drives it out of our interactions with our customers, and it even drives it out of our experience of producing work. Whereas I think I can find love in all of those. Love for the work you do, love for your customers, love for your colleagues, and this sense of love for the world where we are fulfilling a need or a gap or what some people call a calling to make a difference in the world. And when we do any of those, I think we feel more human, and I think we make more of a difference. And the funny thing is, you make more profit too.
It's not funny. It's just very simple, right? If you love what you do, you will definitely make more money because, you're so passionate about it, and your productivity is rising for sure. I think sometimes as leaders, and you probably, will be able to expand a little bit on that, but love seems to be a bit fluffy, right?
Well,
do we really fluffy love? What do you talk about?
It's absolutely the opposite. It's really hard to express love in work. When you've got a customer who's being really difficult, then bringing your full human capacity to recognize them as a human being is much harder than simply being grumpy, being perfunctory, delivering a transaction. When you've got colleagues who are being annoying, again, really hard to find the capacity to be empathic with them, to be alongside them, to show up as a human being and not just revert to the hierarchy of I'm your boss, just do what you're told. And when you've got a piece of work in front of you, it can be really tempting just to get the piece done and do the minimum possible to get it finished. Whereas to immerse yourself in that high absorptive creative mode, that's harder than just simply getting the thing done. So I think actually the route to love in work in all of these elements is tougher, it's more difficult, it's harder, and so it's certainly not the soft and fluffy option.
I know, and it's difficult sometimes to actually find a link between the passion, the people, and the customer experience, or the CX that we're delivering. Like you said, a lot of people have tough days, whether it's with colleagues or customers in front. What are the kind of things that you'd suggest that people could be doing?
Well, it's not about just pretending to be nice or pretending to be happy all the time.
Smiling, right? So, smile, you'll be fine.
So sometimes a smile is a good thing, but if you're not feeling it, I'd rather people inhabit their real emotions and connect on a real human-to-human level with the person they're with, whether it be a colleague or a customer, than try to do this sort of fake sincerity that often gets associated with some American depictions of customer service. That's not got any integrity or authenticity to it. So it's not about pretending to be happy or cheerful. It's about genuinely showing up for all that we are and having that human-to-human encounter. And that can even take place within the few seconds of buying a cup of coffee from a barista in the morning. That it can, if you allow it, be just a simple transaction. But if you make it so, you can make it a couple of seconds of human-to-human contact where you can make their day and you make your own at the same time. And you come away with a coffee. So.
I think a lot of people, we forget what service is about. And that's, I've always felt that when I do something good for somebody else, it makes me feel good. It's a very selfless thing, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what makes me happy. Making other people happy makes me happy, right?
And all of us have that experience. Well, 99.9%. There is a very, very small percentage of human beings who are psychopathic, who don't have that need to connect, to serve, to empathise with people. But the way we've structured our economy and our workplace, it tends to favour this sort of psychopathic way of dealing with people, that to try to disown our humanity and to disconnect from theirs. Whereas what I'm looking to do is to find the moments where you can rehumanise the experience of work, whether it be a moment with a colleague where you're connecting with them or a moment with a customer. It doesn't take any longer to do it in a human way than it does to do it in a transactional or automated way. And I think with all the focus at the moment on AI and automation and tech, it's even more important that that businesses own their humanity and connect with the humanity of the people that they're working with.
It's that connection on an emotional level, right? For me, it's that emotions.
Yeah.
When we trigger the emotions, whether they're good or bad.
Well, yes, indeed, to use a word that's not often used in business, it's a connection at a spiritual level. There's a connection at our deepest level of being and meaning, that you're not going to have the most profound experience with somebody when you're buying a coffee from them, but you can touch your humanity and theirs in that moment of eye contact, of acknowledgement. And sometimes it's a very cheerful mode. Sometimes it can be quite a sensitive mode. You might just detect something in them, and just by mirroring back the emotion you're feeling, you can connect at a what I believe is a spiritual level, and that changes them and you for the moment, and that changes the world, which is I think what we're here for.
And really, that thing is love.
Absolutely, yes.
Isn't it?
Now, love is the most popular theme of every pop song. It's the most popular theme of novels and of poetry. There's something in our human experience that yearns for that connection to our deepest self and to the deepest self of others, and to this sense, as there's a writer called Charles Eisenstein. He talks about the more beautiful world our hearts know is possible. And as soon as I read that title, I had a sense of what that book meant. And I think all of us have a resonance that the world is more beautiful than we pretend it is in our economy or in our workplace, or in our business plans. So I want to enable people to rehumanize their experience of work, to find the expression of love through the doing of work, through the connecting with colleagues, through the connecting with customers or clients, and through this sense of connecting to a sense of what the world could be if they had a little bit more love in it.
I talk about a lot, obviously, about the CX thing. That's my thing. But I think as a customer experience point of view, for me, it becomes more about the community experience. And that comes into everything. We talk about whether it's an organization. An organization is a community of people, a circle of people. An island is a community of people, a city. Even a home is a community of people. And it's bringing that love into our community. For maybe we say a small organization, it's easier. How do you do that in a larger organization?
We are primates. However much you dress up the sophistication of the human being, we are effectively an advanced group of mammals that live in social groups. And primates have been doing this for hundreds of thousands of years. And so it's the most natural thing we can do is to connect in social structures. And so whether it's a family or a community or a political entity or a small island like Jersey or a company, then humans will find the way to connect with each other in that. And often our ways of doing business and doing organizations cut across that and make it more difficult to connect. Whereas as soon as we look at it from the other angle and find business as a way of connecting, everything becomes easier.
It was interesting, I think, during the pandemic, where pre-pandemic, I felt a lot of organizations were very corporate and very kind of not as much care into things that, they could be. Some were very good at it, but some not as much. And then the pandemic arrived, and it was like suddenly no one could connect with each other. It was suddenly we were all stuck in our homes. And that real need of connection was incredible, right? We missed being with each other. We missed hugging and talking to each other. And those groups that were created were because of that missing gap of that community.
And I remember in the gap between two of the lockdowns around that period, I was commissioned by a fairly large Jersey organisation to write a programme and to deliver it to them around being strong enough to care. The sense that care wasn't the weak or the soft or the fluffy option. It's something that required great strength from leaders, and it was a journey for them because they'd often either been habituated or trained to lead in a careless way, and as you switch that mode into leading through care, leading with their empathy, it's a game changer. But it's not an easy one because most leaders are selected not because they're the most caring person in the room. They're either selected for other attributes or for their cognitive abilities or their technical skills. So helping them to bring their whole selves into work and to access their own emotional intelligence, or even to develop the emotional intelligence, is not an easy thing, but it's a worthwhile
exercise, definitely. And so this is, I mean, you've just mentioned emotional intelligence, which is a very important, crucial part of leadership. And I think, communication and communication skills are another very important, because actually if you're not able to communicate with other people, you're not able to connect with them.
Absolutely. And as with most things, communication has always got a cognitive rational element and an emotional non-rational element. And I don't want leaders to just be emotive, connecting, non-rational in their communication. That's going to be no use to anybody. We need them to have the structure and the logic and the reasoning and the purpose in their conversation, and the affect, the emotion, the connection, the relatedness. And so it's that real connection between head and heart, between left brain and right brain, between thinking and feeling. And
the yin and the yang.
I guess it is. Yes,
yeah.
I'm not so familiar with that sort of philosophy, but I think wherever you look at native wisdom around the world, we always see these two elements. And somehow, in the last few hundred years, in this narrow little corner of the world, we've tried to banish one of those capacities from our way of being, and to focus in on the other. We've said that reason and intellect is much more important than feeling and relatedness, and we've become unbalanced. And that I think that era in humanity is crumbling away, and it's shifting. We haven't felt and thought like that for very long as humans. It's quite a recent thing, and we haven't felt or thought like that for much of the world. So most of the world thinks the Western business people are crazy the way they go about their world. And if you had people from the 16th century or the 5th century, and they looked at the way we behave, they think, what on earth are you trying to just manage from your head without your heart? But there's a moment now where I think that dominance of intellect and of cold rational reasoning is on its way out, and there's space for people to value the whole human and to value each other and to bring all those capacities into business. And it makes for better products, it makes for better service, it makes for more satisfying work, and it makes for healthier work. All this association with the thinking and intellection actually means people burn out more quickly. And so if we can bring our whole selves to work, we'll live longer and happier lives.
And ultimately, the goal, because for an organization as a goal, you have to make a profit. If you have happier people, cared people, valued people, if they feel good in themselves, if your leaders are leading because of that love and that care in between, automatically, ultimately,
and
the
profit is essential, but I don't see it as the goal. It's a little bit like if saying that the purpose of a car is to burn petrol. No, the purpose of a car is to go places, to take your family to the beach, or to go and visit your aunt or something. Petrol is required. You absolutely need it. You need to burn petrol to get there in internal combustion cars. But it's not the purpose. I don't, when I purchase a car, I think, oh, how much petrol can I burn this year? No, I think, where can I go? And so businesses have often mistaken the essential requirement to make profit for the purpose of business, which is usually to make the world a better place.
I love that. Oh, Simon, that's just so cool. Yeah. So good. Remind me the title and if anybody wants to buy the book or find the book of that writer.
So the phrase was "Work is love made visible."
Yeah.
It's from a chapter in a book called "The Prophet" by Khalil Gibran.
And what was the year of his book?
That was 1923.
Okay.
And there are chapters in that on what I call practical wisdom. There's a chapter on eating well. There's a chapter on children. There's a chapter on growing old. And there's a chapter on work. And this comes from the chapter on work. And he looks at a philosophical or spiritual approach to all of life, which is not about believing stuff or not about life after death. It's all about life within life, and about a wise way of living, so that we individually flourish and we flourish as a community.
Oh, I love that. Thank you, Simon. That's lovely. If anybody wants to connect with you, what's the best place to find you?
I'm on LinkedIn quite a lot.
Yep.
People can find me at Law at Work, where I'm the managing director, and wandering up and down King Street. That
a lot of the time.
Absolutely. When I'm not in St Peter Port, then I can be pretty easily found in St Helier.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well, thank you so much. Your TED Talk, when is it due to come out?
I don't actually know.
Oh, okay.
Because
Exciting.
the TED people, they want to do all their legal checks,
Yeah.
they want to do all their background work, they want to create a transcript, they have several levels of review.
Okay.
I know the films have been made and edited, but I don't know how long it's going to take. But as soon as they do, it'll be on LinkedIn, and they're all over the place.
Brilliant. All right, well, thank you so much for being my guest today on the Shine on CX show. And if you want to connect with Simon, just I'll put it in the notes as well, so you can just click on the link and then connect with you and share some love.
Thank you so much. Look forward to it.
For more on creating exceptional customer service for your business, head to clareboscq.com. Listen to more episodes of the Shine on CX show wherever you get your podcasts. The Shine on CX show.